A lot of people want to correct their posture to deal with pain or a general discomfort with how they use their body. Basically, they want to feel better. That's an excellent reason to work on your posture, but today I want to talk about why the path to feeling good in the long term is not all sunshine and rainbows. The road to correcting postural problems is not going to be pain-free or totally pleasant. Many modalities in the posture space will promise that you will feel relief and relaxation from their interventions, that after a massage or a chiropractic adjustment or working with a PT, you'll be feeling good. And in most cases, they're not lying. You will feel better. But does that feeling ever last? I've known many people who have tried all these interventions for extended periods. I've tried a number of them myself. And while you can get temporary relief from an acute pain, it seems the pain or postural discomfort always returns. The feeling one gets from the intervention seems to dissipate in a day, and sometimes even sooner. It's quite understandable why this is the case. Because these interventions have done nothing to change your habits of movement, you won't have changed how you use your body. As soon as you go back to living your life, you will start inducing all the same problems that brought you to get some relief in the first place. Getting relief from an acute pain might serve a purpose for someone who is really struggling with pain, but the only way to prevent pain and postural problems from returning is to change how you use yourself. The same goes for those who don't have pain but do have postural issues. If you're not changing your habits of movement, you're not really changing anything long term. Here we must confront an obvious fact. Changing your habits of movement is not comfortable. It will cause some aching and pain. If you're used to constantly shortening the muscles that connect your arm into your torso, extending those muscles will feel like a huge effort. As you pull muscles and fascia into their full length, you will pull apart adhesions that have formed from habitual shortening. That doesn't feel pleasant. Besides it feeling strange and like a lot of work to go against your habits, there is this genuine source of pain when you pull your tissues out of their habitual shortening and into their full length. There are three things to consider about this pain, though. First, it doesn't last forever. Your musculature will get used to extension the same way it got used to shortening. So what feels extreme one day will feel mundane later on down the line. Second, this is not a brutal, gnawing pain. It's closer to what you'd feel from a totally new stretch. For most people, it's a kind of cramp-like ache, though those with a history of genuine pain in a certain joint or area of the body are not likely to get off so easy. And thirdly, there will also be pleasant sensations along with the negative ones. Just like a good stretch or massage might hurt, but also feel good at the same time, truly getting out of shortening habits and moving towards extension has many immediate rewards. It can feel a bit like having parts of your body returned to you. Parts of you that seemed disconnected or numb can be brought under your power again. These benefits will ultimately outweigh the negative, but that's not always obvious at first. And that's the point I want to make. You cannot expect only pleasant feelings and relief on your path to overcoming pain or postural dysfunction. Sometimes lengthening will feel a bit like being tortured on a rack, pulled in two directions beyond what you think is possible. Even if you don't have pain, you still should be aware that genuine lengthening will not be comfortable at first. If you restrict yourself to only movements that are comfortable, you will never get out of your habits. You have to be willing to venture into the uncomfortable. To truly change your habits and defeat chronic pain, you're going to have to drive a path straight through that pain. That's another funny thing about postural discomfort. Often our strange personal habits of movement are coping mechanisms to get around actions we believe are painful. Maybe in the past we had an injury to our ankle, and so we attempt to use the ankle in a way that would avoid aggravating that pain. But in doing so, we end up creating an unbalanced habit that actually causes pain in the long run. Sometimes the pain that we think we're avoiding by using our arm or leg in a particular way isn't even there, and instead it's the very act of avoiding the pain we believe is there that is causing the continuing dysfunction. I can tell you I've had that exact experience multiple times. I subconsciously believed that putting my weight through my left calf would be painful, so I didn't allow myself to. But when I consciously orchestrated the movements needed to extend the leg and put my weight through the calf, I found that in reality the pain there was just that of lifting a weight or doing a real stretch. It was pain, but it wasn't harmful pain. It was the ache and discomfort that occurs when you bring a long neglected part of your body back into action and make it do some work. Your subconscious mind doesn't necessarily know the difference, and so you can be avoiding a pain that you have no reason to avoid. Pain and postural discomfort are by no means simple things to get around or get past. It's understandable to just want immediate relief and pleasant sensations. But if your goal is long-term improvement, I don't think immediate pleasant sensation is what you should aim at. Having a conscious plan of action to get your fascia working and to control your gestures will get you a lot farther. The way to judge success is not by the immediate sensation. Instead, you can use visual feedback, something I know I bring up often, to judge if you are really lengthening or shortening. It's not an easy thing to push yourself to do an action that is uncomfortable. A teacher can help here because they don't feel your aches or pains, so they will push you to move through the pain. If you don't have a teacher, you have to be the one pushing yourself. There are many quotations from F.M. Alexander where he talks about how you have to be willing to feel wrong. To correct your posture, you have to accept making movements that don't feel comfortable at all. He found that in the early days of developing his system, he would often fail to implement the ideas he wanted to implement. He knew he didn't want to pull his head back while speaking, but he repeatedly fell into that habit despite his intentions to the contrary. The way he knew this was by using a mirror, so he could genuinely see what he was doing. The measure of success is not in the feelings. Even if your only goal is to feel better while using your body, your aim should not be at the immediate sensation. The aim needs to be changing how you use yourself during your day-to-day life. And the only way to know if you're succeeding in doing that is with visual feedback, by video recording yourself with a webcam or camera, using a mirror, or having someone observe you.